Picture this: an English nobleman cruising through London in a carriage pulled by zebras instead of horses. Sounds wild, right? But this wasn't just a random, quirky event. It was the result of decades of European efforts to dominate the African continent. Let's dive into this fascinating story. In the 19th century, European colonists faced a big problem as they tried to control the vast African territories they'd claimed. One of the biggest headaches? Biting flies. These weren't your average annoying bugs. They were a serious menace. These pesky flies could suck up to half a liter of horse blood every day. That's like drinking a whole water bottle. Even worse, they spread deadly diseases that wiped out domestic horses. This was a huge issue because the colonial powers relied on horses to transport goods. Without horses, they had to use thousands of people to carry stuff around, which was slow and super expensive. But then they noticed something interesting. Zebras seemed immune to these fly problems. The German Empire got really excited about this and declared zebras were predestined for the use of military needs. It's like they thought zebras were just horses wearing stripy pajamas, ready to join the army. Around 1900, a German colonial army officer named Fritz Bronsart von Schellendorf decided to take on the challenge of domesticating zebras. He thought it would be a piece of cake. Boy, was he in for a surprise. Bronsart set up an experimental ranch near Mount Kilimanjaro, that super tall mountain in Africa, to capture zebras and try to breed them with other horse-like animals. But he severely underestimated the task. Here's why it all went wrong. 1. Zebras are tough cookies. They can run within an hour of being born and have nasty bites and kicks, strong enough to kill a lion. 2. Zebras need special care. The captured zebras couldn't produce enough milk for their babies. 3. Money troubles. Bronsart burned through a 5-year budget in just 1 year. 4. Cultural insensitivity. He paid local indigenous people to wrangle the zebras, not realizing the importance of their traditional knowledge. In the end, dozens of the captured zebras died, and the whole project was a spectacular failure. Oops. While all this zebra taming drama was unfolding, scientists were scratching their heads over another zebra mystery. Why on earth do they have those crazy stripes? This question puzzled even the brightest minds and fueled decades of debate. To understand zebras better, let's zoom out a bit. Zebras belong to the same family as horses and donkeys. After their ancestors entered Africa, they evolved into the 3 zebra species we see today. These striped wonders live in social herds in eastern and southern Africa, munching on grasses and trying not to become lion lunch. Scientists came up with all sorts of wild ideas about why zebras have stripes. 1. It's for socializing. They thought maybe zebras use their unique stripe patterns to recognize each other. But other horse-like animals have no trouble identifying their buddies without fancy stripes. 2. It keeps them cool. Some scientists theorized that the difference in heat absorption between black and white stripes created cooling air currents. Sounds clever, right? But when they actually tracked air movements around sunlit zebra hides, they saw no such effect. Back to the drawing board. 3. It's camouflage. Others wondered if the stripes somehow confused or dazzled predators. Maybe the pattern looked like a bunch of tree trunks or made it hard to see where the zebra's body begins and ends. But here's the thing. Lions and hyenas probably see zebras as gray until they're super close. Plus, they can hear and smell them too. And given how often lions catch zebras, it doesn't seem like they're all that confused. But wait, there's one hypothesis that's really promising, and it goes back to those pesky flies we talked about earlier. Zebras have shorter hair than other grazers in their regions, which might make them more vulnerable to those blood-sucking flies. So scientists wondered if maybe the stripes somehow protect them from fly bites. To test this idea, they did some pretty cool experiments. 1. They put striped and checked rugs on horses and found that a certain kind of biting fly avoided these horses compared to ones wearing solid gray rugs. 2. They watched flies approach horses, zebras, and horses dressed up in zebra print. The flies circled. It turns out that zebra stripes and other graphic patterns mess with how biting flies process visual information when they're trying to land. This limits the fly's chances to suck blood and spread diseases. Pretty clever, right? So while European colonists were struggling to tame zebras, not realizing how well adapted they already were to their environment, the zebras had already evolved an amazing defense against one of Africa's biggest pests. This story shows us how incredible nature can be. Evolution gave zebras a built-in fly repellent in the form of those distinctive stripes. Meanwhile, humans trying to improve on nature by domesticating zebras failed miserably. It just goes to show that sometimes the best solution is the one that's been there all along, even if it comes in black and white stripes. Next time you see a zebra at the zoo, remember, you're looking at one of nature's coolest designs, complete with a state-of-the-art fly defense system.